All right. Shalom. Shalom to the household of faith, the house of David, the Bayaf Davidah, also known as the hopeful elect. Hope this message find all you in perfect peace. Shalom. Just going on a quick little walk here, walk and talk, and just figure take this time and edify the flock. This epistle is inspired by an epistle a beloved brother just recently sent to me, and that he said the video I was going into was the elder Malcolm from the Chicago branch. Shalom to the elder. He was talking about he's currently in Denver, Colorado, and he was saying that he was watching a video from the Canadian prepper, and the Canadian prepper was saying that he doesn't even believe, he's not even a believer, he's not even a believer in his faith. I don't think he believes in the Bible. And he said, this got to be the end, And we're starting to see that how we know that we're at the end, all the signs. We recently, not that long ago, we had the blood moon. We had the magnitude earthquake yesterday in Colombia. I think it was 7.4. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but at the time it was 111 people dead and counting. So we know we got to be there. You see how these nations, just recently, Turkey, the president of Turkey, Tayyip Erdogan, had recently said what? He had recently said they formed him as, I think he was what is the countries? Pakistan, I believe it was. Even the Saudis, they're forming an alliance, see? Because all these nations now are what? They're forming alliances. Let this truck go by. Yeah, all these nations are forming alliances to what? Ultimately to fight. As it says in the book of Revelation, the 16th chapter and verse 12, it says, they talk about the great river Euphrates drying up, that the way of the kings, so the kings of the east might be prepared to fight, and pursuant to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 8, it says what? A time of peace and a time of war. We are definitely in a time of war, see? And go back to what I was saying earlier. You see how these, I was just reading an article earlier today that discussed how American military or Navy, should I say, or they use some drones to destroy, I think it was an Iranian vessel, a commercial vessel, and they destroyed the rudder of it and make it. It was all 17 crew members on board survived, but it was almost like a warning shot. And from the brief reports, it's just a very preliminary story, very interesting brief story, where they talked about it's because they disobeyed the orders of the military. So a few days before that, the Houthi rebels had since launched an attack against the Saudi Arabia vessels. Then days before that, an Indian vessel was attacked. So we know that the Strait of Hormuz is closed, but ultimately that's going to bring in what? Global panic to the global economy. See, almost every day Donald Trump gets on the media machine, and he talks about what? He talks about what? They're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Iran wants to make a deal. All these things trying to stabilize the economy. But we know that he could only do that for so long. It's only so long, it says what? Fool me once, fool me twice, shame on you. Something like that. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Something along those lines. But nevertheless, we understand that this is all prophecy. So the gathering of the nations is all biblical prophecy. Because the Lord is gathering all these nations, you know, pursuant to the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 1, where it says, I don't have my sword on me. So just roughly quoting scriptures. But it says in Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1, it says, come near, ye nations, to hear, to hearken, listen. It says, and all that's therein the world. Because the Lord has a controversy with all these nations. Ultimately, it's about what they have done to his people, his chosen people, the true biblical Israelites. See? This is what it's all about. It's about the controversy of Zion. So these nations are being gathered for war, for the sake of prophecy. Because the Lord told us there will be what? 3 world wars. And in the book of Revelation tells you what? The third woe approaches quickly, roughly paraphrasing. So we, the hopeful elect, this is how we measure the time. You know, measure the time. This is is this going to show you something? There was just a speed trap, and it was just saying 44. And that was beautiful. Wish it would go back again. But anyways, just went to 44. So we understand that this is all the will of YAHAWASHI, because his word does not return unto him void, but it shall accomplish that the thing where he sent it. See? Because this is all BAHASHAM YAHWASHI's plan. So, I mean, like I said, this is just going to be a brief epistle through the spirit and power of YAHWASHAM YAHWASHI. But we got to stay prayed up, keep on our watch, keep paying attention. You know, see how fast the days are moving. You know, the days are moving up real fast. You know, as I said, the word moving. Look at the spirit. If you can see it from here, there's a truck. It says cardinal moving. You know, and yeah, the time is moving so fast. You know, but we understand prophecy because, pursuant to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, around verse 22, the Lord says He's speeding up the time for the elect's sake, because if He doesn't, it says no flesh shall be saved. So we see how the days are zooming by. The Lord YAHWASHI, He's doing it for His elect, because right now we understand the madman is ruling the earth, and the Lord says if He doesn't cut the time short, no flesh shall be saved. Oh, just landed on something there, uneven surface. But anyhow, nevertheless, you know, and so the Lord says He's cutting the time short for His elect's sake, you know. But anyways, I think I'm gonna leave it right there. Almost reached my destination. Gonna go through, do some more nature walks, but I think that's the main point. The point has been made. But I'm gonna close out there. But I hope that you're spiritually fed. I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor due to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. All praises, glory, and honor be to the Most High. His true name is Yahawah. BAHASHAM simply means in the name. YAHWASHI is whom the world ignorantly and fraudulently calls Jesus Christ. His name is YAHWASHI. Shalom to the Lord's elect, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Stay prayed up, shalom.